So I will call this meeting to order at 5:04 p.m. Good afternoon, everyone. At this time, we will hear public comments specifically related to items on the closed session agenda. Speakers? Okay. So at this time, the board will adjourn into closed session at 5:04 p.m. to confer regarding personnel, potential litigation, and labor negotiations. Good evening. My name is Ricardo Favela. I will be filling in for President McBride for tonight's meeting. And, buenas tardes, Hanik and Masanit, and bienvenidos para mi escuela. And we are resuming our meeting at 6:03. Before we begin, please note that this meeting is being videotaped in accordance with our recently revised Board Policy 9324, Minutes and Recordings. The video recording is part of the public record and will be made available on the district's website. This revision was made to promote transparency and accessibility for our community. During the closed session, in item 4B, it was recommended the governing board reject JPA claim number 26-06355, presented by Jokovic Moreno. A motion was made by myself, Ricardo Favela, seconded by Maria Moran, and a vote of, and it was a unanimous vote, 3-0, to reject the JPA claim number 26-06355. Next item is to adopt the agenda. Trustee Goldbeck, at our last meeting, you requested development of a board communication based on your summary of the November 6th bond presentation. The superintendent and director of communications consulted with the bond communications expert, who advised that any bond-related communication should be part of a comprehensive communication plan and timed with formal board action. For that reason, this item was not placed on tonight's agenda. It is recommended the governing board adopt the agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? And I will call for the vote. Trustee Goldbeck?
Aye.
Trustee Moran?
Aye.
And I vote aye, so the motion passes. Next, we have the flag salute and student presentation will be led by students from William H. Frazier Elementary School.
Good evening, Mr. Favela, members of the Board of Trustees, Superintendent Hazel, and everyone here this evening. My name is Titus Dutcher, and this is Ren Bishop. We are students at William H. Frazier Elementary School. Tonight, we are excited to share how our school participated in the Great Kindness Challenge and Black History Month as a part of the Fallbrook Union Elementary School District. At this time, I invite everyone to please stand, place your right hand on your heart, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please take a seat.
The Great Kindness Challenge is a week dedicated to spreading kindness and appreciation. At William H. Frazier, students participated in acts of appreciation, fun lunch activities, and special dress-up days that encourage kindness, inclusion, and school spirit. For example, on Western Day, I wore jeans and a cowgirl hat. The dress-up days really help kids get involved and come together to practice kindness. We also partnered with Starbucks and Regency Fallbrook, a senior living community. Students decorated coffee sleeves and wrote messages of kindness and encouragement to the senior living community residents.
During the month of February, students at our school proudly celebrate Black History Month in meaningful ways. Teachers share rich literature written by Black authors and books that highlight Black Americans, their important contributions to our country, and the amazing inventions they created. We are learning about leaders, scientists, artists, and changemakers who continue to inspire us today. In TK, students explored music and culture through a hands-on drum circle experience. In second grade, students studied the life and accomplishments of George Washington Carver, learning about his innovations and how he used science to help others. In fifth grade, students are creating slideshow presentations highlighting famous African Americans and sharing what they have learned about their achievements.
The Great Kindness Challenge helped bring our school together and created a positive and welcoming environment. Students participated in a challenge for 45 acts of kindness on a paper slip. At WHF, lots of kids participated. Our counselor counted them all up. Want to guess how many there were? 80 to 90. That's a lot for just 1 week to turn the slips in. WHF helpers pulled out 5 slips, and those kids got gift cards. Sadly, I was sick for 2 days of the Great Kindness Challenge, so I didn't get to participate, but I'll still be kind even if I didn't get a gift card.
Black History Month at Fraser has been a time of learning, celebration, and appreciation for the many contributions that continue to shape our world. Thank you for your time and attention. We hope you have a great meeting.
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up
and live out the true meaning of its creed.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
That all men are created equal.
That the heat of injustice and oppression
will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice.
A nation where you will not be judged by the color of your skin,
by the content of their character.
Let freedom ring from the slopes of California.
On every mountainside, let freedom ring. Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you, Dr. King.
Thank you so much. You're going to go right in the middle. Titus and Ren, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for coming here today to help us with the board meeting, but also thank you for being leaders at your school. I see you organizing so many different events at school, participating in class, and I'm just really proud of you. Our future is bright in Fallbrook because of just like you. Thank you for representing your school so well. Big smile. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause.
Okay, moving on. We will look at approving the minutes for the January 22nd regular board meeting. It is recommended the governing board approve the minutes of the January 22nd, 2026 regular board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? We'll call for the vote. Trustee Moran,
Aye.
Trustee Golbeck,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The motion passes. So we will continue with community relations. Dr. Paul is not in attendance. And now we will be moving on to reports from the board. We'll begin with Trustee Golbeck.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Frank Golbeck. I'm an Area 1 trustee. So if you live East Mission and north, but before you get into Duluth and on to Camp Pendleton, that's kind of my area. So if you ever have questions about board stuff or want to talk, I'm here for you. You can get my email on the district website. And I have 3 kids in the district, 2 that are growing up to go into the district. So love the opportunity to send our kids to these fine schools. And my report this week is about going to Fallbrook STEM Academy and seeing the hard work that gets done there. Whenever I get into classrooms, I'm just so impressed by the stamina of the teachers and the dedication of the teachers. It is just incredible how they keep the energy level high and the kids on task, and the kids are having fun And I did get to see the kids celebrating the huge progress that we're going to hear more about tonight, which is really awesome. You know, we've got big goals, but there's a ton of work that's happening to help us achieve those goals, and the kids are getting to celebrate that success as they earn it. So it was wonderful to be on campus. Did notice some facilities things that hopefully will get worked into a facilities modernization plan, which is a big project. But as a community, I think we can come together. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to really improve our schools for the next generation. So I'm excited about all those things and grateful to be here.
Hi. My name is Maria Moran, and I do not really have a report, but I'd just like to tell every parent, thank you very much for being the voice of your children and supporting them. They need it real bad. So, but I just want to tell you, each and every one of you, thank you for being here and thank you for all that you do.
So I had an opportunity to visit Potter with our superintendent and Dr. Gonzalez and staff there, and it was a great visit. I really appreciated the focus. It was very much a different type of visit from what I've experienced before. We visited classrooms, we looked at data, and had a very robust discussion looking at how we support those students that need that additional support that the data was demonstrating on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, it was very encouraging. I was really glad to be able to see this conversation happening. Just a sharp focus on student achievement there at Potter Junior High. I also had an opportunity to attend Fallbrook STEM's reclassification ceremony. These reclassifications are always a great time to celebrate with our families. It's much deserved reclassification of students reclassifying from as English learners. And so it was great. There was a ballet folklorico from the high school who performed beautifully, and it was just a great night. Really glad I could make it. So that's all I have to report. And I'll pass it on to the superintendent.
All right. Good evening, trustees and all of our parents and students in the audience. It's always a pleasure for me to be able to update you on the highlights of the month. And I wanted to start off with appreciation to the Paula Tribal Council. Do I have a clicker here? Nice deal. There we go. Raul, can you be my clicker back there? All right, perfect. So I'd like to start with appreciation for the Paula Tribal Council for visiting Potter and Fallbrook High School. So as you know, we've talked about this before, but Assembly Bill 3074 prohibits California's public schools from using Native American mascots, team names, or imagery unless you receive formal approval from a federally recognized tribe. And so, as you know, Potter are the Braves, and that's one of the names that is underneath this assembly bill. And so earlier this year, I met with the Paula Tribal Council members to respectfully request permission for Potter to continue using the Braves mascot and the feather logo that you see here. And I'm really grateful to share that support was granted. And so we will continue to be the Potter Braves, and Fallbrook High School will continue to be the Fallbrook Warriors. So we're really excited to be able to honor our local tribe in that way. So this month, you can see 5 tribal council members came to visit Potter and the high school. We had students that led classroom visits. They showcased their learning, and they shared the Braves mural that honors the Luiseño people. So this was just, the visit really reflected a mutual respect and partnership, and I'm just really thankful that we have that partnership with our community and the tribal council. So that was a first piece that I wanted to share with everyone. And then the next that I'd like to share is every month we do what's called a leadership walk. And what that means is that every principal in the district, every assistant principal, all the directors, all the assistant superintendents, we go to one school every month. So, you know, I'm at every school every month, but this is an opportunity for all the other principals to see what each school is doing. And so this month, and it was actually this week, we were just at Potter, and President McBride was with us, and you also see the high school superintendent, Dr. Gonzalez, there as well. And so we canvass the entire school. So we go into every classroom, and we were just really happy to see the progress that's happening at Potter. They start out by sharing the data and the metrics of like what's changing at Potter. We know that outcomes have been low, and our achievement at Potter is not where it needs to be. And so we've got work that we need to do. But the exciting news is that we're making progress, and we're outpacing the state, we're outpacing the county with the gains that we're making in our district. And I know why, because we see it in the classrooms. We saw, you know, students that were excited in their math lessons, and instruction is changing, and the culture is changing at Potter. So we'll be having a Potter update coming up in the next couple of months, so that you can hear about all the metrics that are changing and the experiences for kids. But this was just a shout out to the staff and everyone there. It was an amazing visit. We really saw the hard work of the Potter team, and just really proud of them. So a big shout out to Potter. And yay, Potter! All right, this one I'm really excited about. And I feel like almost every month I've been coming and telling you, we got a new award in Fallbrook. And we did last month, but this is a new award we just got notice about this week. And so I'm especially proud of this award. It's called the 2026 Voice of San Diego Acorn Award. And I'm proud to share that Fallbrook Union Elementary School District, as a district, like the entire district, is winning this award because we were at the top of the county for metrics related to income and achievement. We also, one of our schools, San Onofre Elementary School, was the highest elementary school in the entire county on this metric. So the Voice of San Diego is doing a big article about us. We get to go down to San Diego and get a trophy. And we get an opportunity to talk about the work that we are doing and what makes us different. You know, what makes us different here in Fallbrook. And so this award, what it does is it uses income versus test score metric. And UC San Diego has been working on this study for the last number of years. And so what they found in this study is that as income level decreases, so do test scores, right? That's something that they found across the country. And they were looking for outliers, places across California where they called it, we buck the trend. Outliers like Fallbrook, where your achievement is not measured just based on income. And so, as you know, they said that they identified districts that are outperforming expectations. You know that 78% of students come from low-income households here in Fallbrook who are experiencing financial hardships, and this study showed that we are performing at the highest levels. So this award is especially powerful to me because I feel it sends a clear message. In Fallbrook, your outcomes as a student are not determined by how much money your parents make. In Fallbrook, you're going to receive a top-tier education. And that, to me, is equity in action. That is what growing greatness truly means. And I'm immensely proud to lead a district where educators refuse to allow income circumstances to define potential. So this recognition belongs to our teachers. It belongs to our principals. It belongs to our classified staff. It belongs to all of you sitting in this room, all of our parents and our families and our students who show up every day, ready to work hard and believe in themselves. And I cannot wait to bring the trophy back home here to Fallbrook and share it with all of you at our next board meeting. So thank you, thank you.
Okay, next we have attendance, reading, and math awards. Maria, would you start us off?
Sure. Okay. Strong attendance is so important because it's a key to learning. When students are in school consistently, they have the best chance to grow, develop, and succeed academically. It's why we're excited to recognize schools for their efforts in promoting strong attendance. This month, I am proud to announce that Fallbrook STEM Academy has the highest average daily attendance in January. In January, with 95.2%, congratulations to the staff, the students, and families of Fallbrook STEM Academy for this outstanding achievement. Your commitment to being present every day sets a wonderful example. Congratulations.
Fallbrook Union Elementary School District continues its dedication to fostering a love for reading. To kick off our reading awards, we have some monumental news to share. As of January 2026, Fallbrook students have officially crushed the 1 million minute mark. With a collective total of 1,054,798 minutes read. Now we will recognize our top first and second grade readers from each school. Each of these students are leading the reading charge at their schools for the month of January. What an excellent way to start the new year. Congratulations, and please come up when your name is called and we will take a group picture. From Fallbrook STEM Academy, Oliver Raimundo Gaspar.
Book. Every teacher has picked out a very special book based on what the children are very interested in reading, so it's personalized. We hope you love your book for everyone that comes up. All right, let's see who's next.
From La Paloma Elementary, Theo Van Den Eickhoff. From Live Oak Elementary, Luke Raddick. From Mary Faye Pendleton, Cooper Irwin. From May Ellis Elementary, Lucia Brockhouse. From Potter Junior High School, Liliana Ahumada Celedon. From San Onofre School, Remington Boyd. And from William H. Frazier, Adrian Vargas Tornero.
Perfect. Put your certificates on your belly buttons, guys. There you go. Cheese. Yay, great job.
Get ready to go for the gold. In honor of the 2026 Winter Games, we're kicking off our February Reading Winter Olympics Challenge. We can't wait to see which of our star readers will reach the top of the podium. Join us at our next meeting for the big reveal of our February champions. Congratulations to all of our readers.
Fallbrook students are also working hard to grow their math abilities and math literacy. Today, we are excited to honor students at each school who have shown outstanding growth using our adaptive digital math program. These students have demonstrated great progress in grade level growth with accuracy. From Fallbrook STEM Academy, Ezra Munoz. From La Paloma Elementary, Charlotte Rodriguez. From Live Oak Elementary, Nathaniel Hampton. From May Ellis Elementary, Benea Ordonez.
I love that smile.
From Mary Faye Pendleton, Timothy O'Boyle. From Potter Junior High, Ariana Alvarez Rivera. From San Onofre School, Theodore Bentley. And from William Fraser, Jocelyn Barranco.
Oh, so cute. Yeah. Big smile, Ezra. So adorable. All these mathematicians.
Yeah. We are growing greatness in Fallbrook, and it begins with our students learning and practicing new skills. In the month of January, our students completed over 103,000 math sessions. We can't wait to see how much more they accomplish next month. Okay.
Students and parents, we know it's a school night, and so if you need to sneak out, we understand that. We're so thankful that you are here tonight. We know you've got lots of reading to do and math work, so thank you. And thank you, parents, for bringing us here. You're amazing. You're always welcome.
Little one. Congratulations. That's a new student coming our way, right? Exactly.
At this time, we will hear public comments related to items on the open session agenda, as well as non-agenda matters within the board's jurisdiction. Speakers are allotted up to 3 minutes each, with a total of 20 minutes for a particular item or topic. While the Brown Act allows the board to hear issues within its jurisdiction from the public that are not on the agenda, it only allows the board to respond in a very limited manner, such as providing direction to staff. If the board were to have more than this type of brief discussion on an item not on the agenda, it could be a violation of the Brown Act's rules for posting the agenda. To address the governing board, members of the public must have submitted a completed speaker card to the clerk of the board before the open session portion of the meeting began. We ask that speakers comply with our district civility code. Please watch this short video for details.
Thank you for coming to our school board meeting and sharing your opinions, concerns, or words of appreciation.
Here in Fallbrook Union Elementary School District, all students should learn to be leaders.
That's right. That means no yelling, no aggressive behavior, and no foul language. And we ask everyone who speaks tonight to uphold the same high expectations during board meetings.
We all play a role in making our district a great place to learn, grow, and work. Let's show respect, practice civility, and be kind to one another. We appreciate everyone who chooses to speak during public comment. Your voice is important to us.
Have a great meeting.
So at this moment, I'd like to invite Jason Harrow, Eddie Castillo forward to speak.
Good evening. I'm Jason Harrell. I represent AIS, and I am here to talk about the pending copier contract that you either signed or are about to sign. We presented a competing bid, not knowing that the district had already gone and authorized a workaround of the RFP process, and was a little shocked to find the pricing that you had received was well above standard pricing that would normally be given to a school district. Hopefully all of you received the email that I sent last week. What we presented represented almost a $300,000 savings over the term of the contract, which is obviously can be better used throughout the district for your general funds. And what we represented something that was as good or better than you currently had. We're not absolutely sure how the relationship overwhelmed the need for the process of getting competitive bids, but they somehow utilized a RFP that as a piggyback that is not in line with pricing. I'm 25 years in the major account division. I've been working with Kyocera and AIS for over 20 years, and I compete against Canon at least a dozen times a year, and we're always neck and neck when it comes to pricing. So the fact that you've got a Canon dealer that is 30 to 40% higher represents the type of pricing that a down the street company would achieve, not a school district. So I'm not sure how the pricing got to where it's at, but I would ask the district to take a step back, send in what's called a notice of intent to the current leasing company, which will then give you time to explore this a little bit further. I don't believe that you're in a proper fiscal position with this contract. It's not advantageous to the district. There's other options that are out there that can save the district substantially. Whether it's us or anybody else, I'm not here to tell you you've got to work with me. I'm telling you that what you've been presented is not in line with what a public sector school would normally get, not even close. So we showed a $280,000 savings on the initial portion of the contract plus overages at 30% less, and I understand that overages are up to $3,000 to $5,000 at a billing. So just take another 30% off of that, and we can easily cross the $300,000 threshold in savings. So is there any questions that you have for me? Is there anything that I could, I brought the spreadsheet if you'd like to see it, but I would love to be able to take this to the next step, maybe have more of an in-depth meeting and discuss this further.
Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you. We did receive your email, and staff will keep us updated.
All right. Is there any way, should I follow up? How can we find out what's going to be the next steps?
I think we're doing our research right now, and we received your email, and we'll follow up with you if we need to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just one thing to know, that you can send what's called an NOI, or a notice of intent, that will give you time, and not what you have to worry about is what's called an evergreen renewal contract. If you don't send in that notice, then they'll automatically renew you for another year. But if you just send in the one quick letter, that will just turn it into a month to month, and then it gives you as much time as you want to make your final decision. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have Tabga Bustani, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, will present the mid-year LCAP update.
Good evening, esteemed trustees and Superintendent Hazel and members of our community who are here this evening. It's an honor to present an update on our local control accountability plan. Tonight, I'll be sharing updates on goals, actions, expenditures, and impact, providing a broad overview of how we're working to meet the needs of our students here in Fallbrook. What is the LCAP? The LCAP, the Local Control and Accountability Plan, is a 3-year roadmap that outlines how our schools support student success by ensuring that they receive the academic, social, and emotional support needed to thrive. Our LCAP is grounded in our core beliefs, the belief as you, as trustees, develop for our district, ensuring that our goals and actions reflect our commitment to personalized support, high-quality instruction, and equitable access so every student in our district can achieve excellence. Our plan is built around 4 goals: academic achievement, climate, engagement, and our equity multiplier goal for specialized support. Our goals are grounded in the 8 state priorities. These 8 priorities reflect our belief that many factors, both inside and outside of the classroom, positively impact student success. The LCAP development is a collaborative process, aligning goals and data in the fall, gathering partnership input and refining actions through the winter, developing the budget and draft in spring, and finalizing approval and submission by early summer. The arrow shows exactly where we are in the process, which is midpoint monitoring so that we can make necessary adjustments in response to our data. At this mid-year point, we will begin actively gathering input across our school communities to inform the LCAP updates and strategic adjustments for the upcoming school year. So now we're going to begin with Goal 1. Goal 1 focuses on delivering rigorous, standards-based instructional program that enhances student learning and drives academic achievement. A top priority for the board is ensuring that every student becomes a strong reader, not by 3rd grade anymore, by 1st grade. The 1st grade promise, because we know early literacy changes the trajectory of a child's entire academic journey. Actions we've taken across the system include district professional learning communities, instructional coaches, targeted interventions, and amazing STEAM programming, and extended learning opportunities. Additions this year include resource alignment meetings after each data cycle. This is a shift for us this year. We're having meetings after the closure of every data cycle. So we're not waiting until the end of the year to make adjustments. We're making them as soon as the data is live. We're deepening our inclusive practices to ensure that students with disabilities have consistent access to Tier 1 instruction. They belong in the gen ed classrooms, and we're making huge shifts in that. Structured literacy is something we're very proud of to support our early readers. We have professional development in writing. We have a robust math adoption process we're engaged in. And as Superintendent Hazel opened earlier this evening, we have learning walks where we come together at every school, teachers and administrators. We highlight what's working and we develop feedback and trends to address problems of practice. That's happening at every school with our teacher leaders. This slide highlights key expenditures aligned with Goal 1, though this is not an exhaustive list. These investments directly support student achievement, from intervention teachers, STEAM teachers, or coaches, materials, access to digital technology and digital citizenship, and our professional learning communities. So now we go to the data. We use M-Class Reading Screener in our early grades to monitor student growth, development, and foundational reading skills. District-wide, early literacy growth is strong from fall to winter 2025 across grades K to 2. Kindergarten increased from 30 to 38%, showing gains in letter naming and phonemic awareness. First grade grew from 34% to 44%, with progress in foundational reading skills. That's huge. That foundation sets students up for success. Second grade showed the largest growth, increasing from 43 to 55% in oral reading fluency and comprehension. And as we all know, comprehension is key. Fluency matters, word reading matters, but if they don't understand what they're reading, we're missing the mark. So we're making great progress here. We're very proud of that. In STAR 1 math, first grade showed positive growth, increasing from 53.4% in fall 2025 to 56.9% in winter 2026. Second grade declined slightly from 50.7% to 45.8%. Now we're going to move on to STAR for our grades 3 to 8. This slide shows our STAR growth in ELA and math from winter 2025 to winter 2026, from 3rd grade to 8th grade. We often refer to this as an apples to oranges comparison, looking at last year's students compared to this year's student performance. This is similar to how the states evaluate our schools. They take a look at how did students perform last year and compare it to how students are performing this year. Different students, apples to oranges comparison. District-wide, progress is evident, with overall gains in 0.7% in ELA and 1.3% in math. While performance varied across schools, we will continue to build the capacity by sharing effective strategies that are working at schools demonstrating growth. And as Trustee Goldbeck mentioned, we do have growth happening at our schools. We see tremendous growth at Fallbrook STEM Academy, at La Paloma. So we're creating a culture where leaders come together and learn from one another. What are those factors that are working? How do we replicate that, and how do we learn from one another? That is the approach we're going to take as we're moving to address the data. Now let's take a look at grade level performance. In ELA, we saw encouraging gains in grades 4 to 7. While 3rd grade and 8th grade show declines. So we need to get underneath what's happening in 3rd, what's happening in 8th. We see a similar pattern in math, strong progress in grades 4 to 7, with grades 3 and 8 signaling opportunities for growth. On this slide, you'll see a comparison of student performance across various student groups. Overall, we're seeing positive growth in ELA and math from winter 2025 to winter 2026. Students with disabilities show the strongest gains, reflecting the impact of inclusion and targeted supports. English learners, migrant, and Hispanic students also demonstrated growth, indicating improved access to strong grade level Tier 1 instruction, something we've been saying from day one. Expose students to the standards, have high expectations. Do not dilute what you're teaching because children are brilliant and they're capable. We will now analyze our STAR data by looking at the same student cohort. We call this apples to apples. Where did they start the year and where are they today? Same students. This allows us to see where students started on STAR 1 in November and where they are now based on STAR 2 in January. In ELA, we saw overall district growth of 1.6%, with most schools demonstrating gains. You see all the green down. In math, district performance remained relatively stable with a small change overall. Again, we see variation across schools, which creates opportunities for us to share and scale what's happening in these schools that are getting results and how do we learn and replicate that. When we look at grade level growth, we see positive momentum in ELA across most grades, with the strongest gains in 6th grade and with 8th grade showing a slight dip. In math, the picture is a little bit more mixed. While grades 3 and 8 show great gains, grades 4 and 7 experience modest declines. Again, what is happening in the classrooms and how do we get underneath that data? Student group results show consistent growth in English language arts across all groups, with the strongest gains amongst English learners, migrant, and Hispanic students. Our students with disabilities and African American students also demonstrated positive ELA growth. Our English learners and white students showed slight gains in math, while several student groups, including migrant students, students with disabilities, and African American students, experienced slight declines. Hispanic students remained stable. Our commitment to equity means meeting every student where they are and refusing to let starting points define outcomes. As Superintendent mentioned, refusing to allow income, language level, zip code define outcomes. On this slide, you can see how our schools are opening doors to future success, interrupting patterns of underperformance and accelerating student growth by moving students out of level 1. So this means that we are moving students out of levels 1 into levels 2, 3, and 4. Are we making progress? This isn't just about proficiency. The slide is about growth. Are we moving kids? When a student moves up, not only does their confidence begin to grow, but a child starts to believe in what's possible. So you can see on the column here, in English language arts, almost every school, when you see a negative 1.2, that means you're actually moving more students out of level 1. That's what you want to see. Same thing in mathematics, less students in level 1, that decline is what we want to see. So we move on to this visual. The California dashboard now includes informational measure highlighting individual student growth, as I mentioned. We want to see progress kid by kid, not just proficiency, but growth. In math and ELA for grades 4 to 8, comparing student progress to peers statewide. Growth is reported across 5 levels from minimal to exceptional and aggregated for schools in the district. Our 2025 dashboard data shows accelerated growth in ELA and average growth in math. Each year, more Fallbrook students are moving closer to mastery, affirming our belief that every child is inherently brilliant and is capable of achieving academic excellence. So how are we responding to this data? As a system, we're taking action. In partnership with our instructional leadership team, our leaders acted immediately. They didn't wait for us for direction. The minute the data was made public, they were gathering their teams and they were strategizing. How are we going to respond to this data? How are we going to align our resources? What are we going to do to catch kids up? Principals are going to be sharing their action plans with instructional cabinet, with us as a team, to ensure that we have support and alignment and sharing best practices, because we want to learn from the schools that are experiencing success. We want to replicate that and hear from our leaders How are you doing this? What are you doing? So other leaders can share and learn from them as well. We are a learning organization. We are also strengthening Tier 1 instruction by immersing students in standards-aligned tasks and assessments. Every time Superintendent Hazel is in classrooms, every time I'm in classrooms, we ask ourselves, are students accessing grade-level instruction? That is a key driver. We're doubling down on that. We're providing targeted instruction and using daily exit slips. We're checking in every day, every lesson. Did you get it? If not, how am I going to adjust my teaching? We are accelerating learning. To accelerate learning, we're expanding interventions before, during, and after school. Site teams are looking at tutoring opportunities before and after school. We're collaborating with the principals and making and expanding that. And at the same time, based on our data, we're doubling down on numeracy with a focused effort to strengthen math skills so that students build confidence and momentum. Now we move on to Goal 2. In Fallbrook, it is our steadfast belief that Goal 2 is just as important as Goal 1 because students can only thrive academically when they feel safe, supported, and connected in our schools. If that's absent, they won't learn. We continue to address the needs of the whole child by strengthening support system, including our social workers, our counselors, our behavior specialists, to foster connection, belonging, and well-being. This year, we are proud to have launched and expanded targeted supports, including the independent study pilot at 2 of our schools, attendance recovery, and the MTSS Student Success Platform. This slide showcases key Goal 2 investments, including support staff who provide direct services to students. Now we go to the impact of Goal 2. Our students complete an SEL survey 3 times a year, providing us with insight into their engagement, their effort, and their relationships. This data shows notable growth in the early grades, particularly in student engagement and classroom effort, while strong supportive relationships are being maintained across grades 3 to 8. We all know, and we've said this, that students can't learn if they're not in school, which is why attendance is a top priority for our district. Chronic absenteeism decreased by 4.3 percentage points, dropping from 18.1% to 13.8% as a district. Every site reduced chronic absenteeism, with several schools showing substantial declines of 5 to 9 percentage points. Average daily attendance increased to 95%, a 1% gain so far this year. Most schools increased ADA with gains of approximately 1 percentage point or more at many sites. Additional data. Our counselors and social workers are making a profound difference in the lives of our children. Through January, their work has reached students at scale. Nearly 4,800 direct student supports, including individual check-ins, counseling, and small group sessions. More than 1,800 classroom lessons and circles building prevention and social emotional skills, and 436 crisis response services providing timely care with students who need it the most. And now we move on to Goal 3. Strengthening family and community partnerships to drive engagement, collaboration, and student success. At Fallbrook, our families matter. Our parents are partners in learning with meaningful opportunities to engage in our school communities. Through open communication and strong partnerships, families stay connected and support student learning both in and beyond the classroom. But sometimes words just aren't enough. So the next few slides will show the heart of Fallbrook. People showing up, caring deeply, and serving our community with love and purpose. Through strong community partnerships, we care for the whole family, meeting essential needs through supports like our school pantry and the Duluth Community Food Pantry. Fallbrook Community Health Center partnerships expand access to essential health services, strengthening support for students and families. Parent leadership empowers families as true partners in shaping decisions and strengthening our schools. Family events at our schools create moments of joy, of belonging and connection, bringing families together in support of every child. This is Fallbrook. This slide showcases key Goal 3 investments to strengthen the home-school connection, including parent leadership, our bilingual community support assistants, and our amazing communication department. Across the district, schools have fostered family engagement through consistent leadership conversations, advisory committees, and learning events. Every site has hosted multiple opportunities for parent voice and partnership. Every school has hosted at least 2 principal and AP family engagement events. Regular advisory and governance meetings were held across all sites. 25 family learning nights were hosted district-wide. We have 132 district social media posts, an increase from 3 last year. Finally, we have 95% of website traffic from direct search, up 6% from last year. Our final goal is specific for our Santa Margarita Community Day School. It is called the State Equity Multiplier Goal to address schools that demonstrate over 90% unique needs. Santa Margarita Academy is a community day school developed for students who are experiencing challenges in the traditional school and require an alternative educational setting. Here are the actions in our LCAP to support student success, including strategies to increase engagement and resources to address the social and emotional needs of our students, including a classroom assistant and social worker. Due to the high student mobility at Santa Margarita Academy, progress is measured individually rather than a student cohort. We don't have a student cohort, so students come in for a short period of time and they leave. So we have individual student rather than cohort data. Attendance remains strong at 93% ADA, and students are showing meaningful growth in ELA, while math results indicate a need to address gaps in learning. This slide showcases key Goal 4 investments, including staffing and materials. And as you can see, we have instructional materials, a classroom assistant, and a behavioral mental health social worker at 10%. So what's next regarding our LCAP? Your Voice Matter campaign launches February 23rd, inviting families and community members to complete the survey via the district website, social media, parent portal, Peach Jar, or by scanning the QR code, which will be made public. Feedback will inform the LCAP revisions before the county review, board approval, and final submission, ensuring community voices guide our decisions. In closing, Peter Senge reminds us that learning organizations grow when people expand what they believe is possible. In Fallbrook, our beliefs spark bold action. Grounded in data and rooted in community, we invest in people with urgency and purpose, transforming lives. Our district, as Superintendent Hazel mentioned, and San Onofre Elementary School are inaugural recipients of the 2026 Acorn Awards from the Voice of San Diego, celebrating schools that exceed expectations despite higher levels of poverty. We are making it happen here in Fallbrook. Together, we are transforming a vision into opportunity, potential into achievement, and hope into lasting change. Thank you. Questions? I know it's a lot of information, but if you have any questions, I'm here.
I don't have questions per se, but I definitely have seen much of this pan out throughout the school year. It's great to see all of this coming to life and you know, sticking to the plan. Yeah. Thank you for summaries. Yeah.
For me, the 10% win at Fallbrook STEM and English Language Arts year over year is incredible. Couple other almost 10% gains. And then when we do the, I'm not sure which one's apples to apples and which one's oranges to oranges, but looking at some of the numbers, when you look at like grade 3 English Language Arts, 25 to 26 going down almost 5%. What's the strategy to address that?
We have to drill down to the classrooms, right? And the students. So we start with grade level data, then we go to where the schools are experiencing that dip, right? It just goes from broad all the way down to kids. Which schools, then we go to what grade levels, obviously. Then from the grade level, we go down to the classrooms. Are we seeing growth in one classroom or a significant decline in one classroom? And sometimes one classroom, the performance of one class can affect the entire grade level and in some circumstances, the entire school in a particular content area. So it's critical, and our leaders are so savvy. They are able to pinpoint where are those classrooms, where are the students, what are their needs, and track exactly the areas of growth and opportunity. So we start big, but we get down to the kid level, and that's what we're very, I would say we're making huge growth in identifying kid by kid and addressing those needs immediately. Superintendent Hazel?
Can you talk a little bit about, just expand a little bit about our Tier 2 intervention, and once you get down to the kid level and you identify what they need, what does it look like for a child to get the additional supports?
Yes. So when we talk about Tier 2 intervention, we get down to the data. So we monitor students and we say, based on this assessment, where did the child demonstrate growth? What skills are they strong in? And then what areas do they need support within? And what the teacher does after that data in terms of intervention could look many different ways. But we know intervention is the most powerful when it happens in the classroom. So based on that data, a teacher might say, well, Frank and Maria and Ricardo all need this particular skill. I'm going to pull them in a small group, and we've been reinforcing small group instruction because intervention happens in Tier 1. Rarely do we like to see kids get pulled out. In the classroom, the teacher reteaches that. She teaches it a different way. She gives practice to work on it during independent time. She sends practice at home. She provides opportunity to reteach it again until students master that. So Tier 1, when we say Tier 2 intervention, it happens in the classroom. Now, if that doesn't work, then we go to the next level. And that's where we have our intervention teachers, outside support, intervention techs. They also push into classroom and they pull small groups or they work one-on-one, again, by name and by need, addressing those areas of growth, providing that targeted instruction, assessing it after they've given that support and saying, did they master it? If they did, off you go. If not, I'm going to continue. So there's also intervention on that level. And then for the very small percentage of students, then we have to consider additional supports. So when we say intervention, we go down to the kid and say, I'm going to teach it again. I'll provide you practice. I'm going to monitor, and I'm going to get intervention support to push in and do what we call double dose. So we do, yes, you need it, but I'm going to give you another dose of reading, another dose of math to address those foundational skills. However, that's not enough because students also need access to Tier 1. So we're not diluting our expectations. High expectations for students during whole group, targeted support during small group. Superintendent Hazel, did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it. You got it. I think it's just that, it's not about for us just identifying that we're having areas of struggle, but it's, what do you do once you determine that? And then, sometimes it's a double dose, sometimes it's teaching it in a different way, right? Because we don't want to just teach it the same a second time, right? We want to give a different opportunity, a different model of addressing that need. And that's when we also utilize the resource alignment plans. So every school is looking at their data. They're determining who went up, who went down, who needs additional support, who's already got it. And we can like extend and stretch our highest level for students as well, right? And so we're looking at all of that data on their PLCs, and then the teachers are creating a plan as to how they're going to address it at the kid level. Then each principal presents that plan to our cabinet. And we have all of those meetings on February 23rd. Trustees, you're welcome to sit in on a meeting if you'd like to see the plans in action, or the plans on paper and what we're thinking about next. So you definitely see some of our data. We've got continued work that we need to focus on, but we've also got time between now and the last day of school in May to make an impact on where kids are.
Well stated, Superintendent Hazel.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving on here, we have board operations. The listed board policy is presented to the governing board for first reading. BP 5030, student wellness. This policy will be reviewed and brought back for discussion and approval at the next board meeting. And moving on, it is recommended the governing board conduct a first reading and adopt the following board policies as presented. BP 1445, response to immigration enforcement. BP 5125, student records. BP 5125.1, release of directory information. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? I will call for the vote. Trustee Goldbeck?
Aye.
Trustee Moran?
Aye.
And I vote aye, the motion passes. It is recommended the governing board approve in the second reading the updated board policies as presented. BP 0430, Comprehensive Local Plan for Special Education. BP 1000, Concepts and Roles. BP 1114, District-Sponsored Social Media. BP 1160, Political Processes. BP 1220, Citizen Advisory Committees. BP 1312.1, Complaints Concerning District Employees. BP 1312.2, Complaints Concerning Instructional Materials. BP 1312.3, Uniform Complaint Procedures. BP 1321, Solicitation of Funds from and by Students. BP 1330.1, Joint Use Agreements. BP 1340, Access to District Records. BP 1400, Relations between other governmental agencies and the schools. BP 1700, Relations between private industry and the schools. BP 2120, Superintendent Recruitment and Selection. BP 6158, Independent Study. BB 9310, Board Policies. BP 9321, Closed Session.
Those were the first reading.
Yeah.
They sound familiar, yeah.
So let me pull up. Sorry to. As you were going through, we were looking at them back and forth.
It's very familiar, yeah.
And so let me pull these up real quick, and we will just correct. Correct them from there. Disregard the list of the last ones that we just heard. I apologize for that. And then we can just list these right here.
Okay, so we need to disregard what these policies that I just read, as we have already worked with them, already dealt with them at our last meeting. And this is what I should have read here. BP 5117 in interdistrict attendance. BP 700 concepts and roles. BP 7110 facilities master plan. BP 7131 relations with local agencies. BP 7140 architectural and engineering services. BP 7150 site selection and development. BP 7160 charter school facilities. BP 7210 facilities financing. BP 7211 developer fees. BP 7212 Melrose districts. BP 7214 general obligation bonds. BP 7310 naming of facility. So do I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to just talk about BP 7110. Generally, I understand there's a lot of requirements there about our facilities master plan, and I understand that we have those resources in different places. I think it'd be really helpful as we're looking at our aging facilities and how to keep them modern or meet the needs of our community going forward, to collect them into one well thought out communications plan with our community. So I don't know when our next facilities subcommittee meeting is planned for, but maybe we could establish a regular meeting quarterly or monthly for that, because I know calendar bingo has gotten very difficult amongst all of the different people. So my discussion on this is I'm for it. I just think that we should have a regular facilities subcommittee meeting quarterly at least, to get all that material into one cohesive place, so that when we go to communicate with our community, we'll have it all nice and organized. Sound good?
Okay, any further discussion? Okay. I will call for the vote. Trustee Golbeck.
Aye.
Trustee Moran.
Aye.
And I will aye. The motion passes. Next item. It is recommended the governing board delete the following board policy as presented. BP 5145.13 response to immigration enforcement. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? And I will call for the vote. Trustee Moran.
Aye.
Trustee Golbeck.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to resolution number 112526. Do you have a speaker?
Present. Okay, good evening, trustees. And tonight's item is something that is straightforward, but it's important. We're reviewing our board member compensation in light of changes to state law and considering how to align our local policy with that updated framework. So this is about governance, this is about responsibility, this is about transparency. And it's about ensuring that public service remains viable, accountable, and sustainable in our district. So earlier this year, the legislation passed AB 1390, and this became effective as of January 1st, 2026, that the compensation cap for districts of our size under 10,000 ADA increases up to $1,200 per month. So this is this modernizes the cap that has remained largely unchanged for decades. Our board bylaw references the compensation permitted under Ed Code, but any adjustment should be considered publicly and adopted formally. And so this is why I brought this forward to you tonight. I want to share with you some rationale that I think is important related to AB 1390. The prior cap put forth by the California Department of Education was $240 per month, and this amount was established 40 years ago. At that time, the complexity of public education and governments, since that time, it's really grown quite dramatically. Board members oversee multi-million-dollar budgets. They approve contracts, they approve labor agreements, curriculum, safety plans. They complete mandatory trainings. They attend regular and special all-day board trainings, and they engage with community partners. Board service today is far more demanding than it was in 1984. So compensation does not make someone serve, right? But it recognizes the scope of the responsibility. And in a district like ours, where we expect high standards and we expect strong oversight, governance work matters. So let me share with you a timeline of key facts and dates. So in 1972, the Ed Code 35120 was enacted. And then in 1984, the Ed Code was amended and it established those caps. And so that was the cap of $240. In 2002, the Ed Code was amended again, and it allowed school boards to increase that cap by 5% every year. And since 2002, Fallbrook has chosen not to amend the cap every year since 2002. Many districts across the state have amended their cap every year by 5%. So, and now here we are in January of 2026, and the state of California has recognized the strong responsibility that the school board trustees hold on their shoulders and the amount of work that it takes to do the role. And the Ed Code has been amended and establishes that cap now to $1,200. And each year, that cap can also be increased after the $1,200 moving forward. So certainly that Fallbrook did not consistently or did not increase at all over time, and that historical restraint certainly respects our community's values and stewardship. But what it also means is that compensation has remained well below a steady incremental adjustment would have produced. So AB 1390 resets that structure. I'd like to provide a San Diego County snapshot of what other districts are currently, have currently already approved. So we can see districts that are around our size, some districts that are larger than our size. So under 10,000, Del Mar voted, the board approved the maximum compensation of $1,200, and Sanitas, Ramona, Grossmont is larger than 10,000 students, so they approved the higher cap of $2,000. Lemon Grove approved at $1,000. Solana Beach, $1,200. Oceanside, $2,000. La Mesa Spring Valley, $2,000. National, which has a similar ADA to us, $1,200. And Cajon Valley at $2,000. It's pending on their board docket right now, has not been approved, is being brought forward to their board. So many districts across the state, sorry, are going through this process right now to determine where to set that cap in the county. Again, this is recognizing that compensation structures are evolving statewide and that Fallbrook needs to decide how to align that with our values. So let's take a look at the fiscal impact of the resolution that's brought forward to you tonight. If we were to increase the amount to the cap as the other districts did. It would increase it to $1,200, which is an increase of $960 per trustee. And that's an annualized increased cost of $57,600 per year, which is 0.05% of our total operating budget. So in communities like ours, we believe in accountability, we believe in responsible stewardship, and we believe in strong oversight of public funds. Effective governance requires time, preparation, and commitment. If compensation remains extremely low, board service becomes realistically limited only to those who can afford to volunteer their time without financial consideration. And this can unintentionally narrow participation from community members on our board, small business owners, working trustees. So public education benefits when governance is accessible to working parents, to small business owners and professionals, and not just retirees or people that are independently wealthy. So compensation should not be symbolic. It should reflect responsibility. So finally, the recommended action tonight that you see is a resolution to adopt Resolution 11-2526, establishing the board member compensation consistent with AB 1390 that went into effect January 1st. And this would be beginning in March. In closing, what I'd like to share is that I realize that serving on this board is an honor, and it's also serious work. Adjusting compensation is about ensuring that strong, accountable governance remains sustainable for this district now, today, but also in the future. The investment that we see here is modest, the responsibility is significant, and the decision is ultimately what supports long-term stability and oversight for our Fallbrook students. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So it is recommended the governing board approve resolution number 11-25/26. Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, sorry. We do have public comment. So I would like to invite Sarah Bishop to come forward.
Good evening, Mr. Favela, members of the board, and Superintendent Singh, and everyone else. My name's Sarah Bishop. I'm a former student of this school district, and I am an employee and a community member and a parent. I'd just like to share, I do support this, just letting you guys know. I fully support it. I'd like to share a couple of brief thoughts regarding the board compensation. I did some back of the napkin math just now, and so if you had $240 a month since 1980s, and it's 40 years. I also realized that's me, like how long I've been around. For inflation, it would go up to $700. So really the difference is like $500, you know? So if you think of it, if you divided that, so that's how much of a change it is. And if you divide that over 40 years, that's like $12 a year. Sometimes I think of things that way and it helps me understand it better. So I'm very much in support of it. I do think it'll do a couple things. I do agree with what Superintendent Singh said. I think it will definitely reduce barriers to serving. Not everyone, or sorry, I'm so sorry I didn't mean to do that. Superintendent Hazel, I'm so sorry. I don't usually come up here. I'm always sitting in the audience. Not everyone has the financial ability or time or flexibility to participate. And then with reducing those barriers, it would potentially increase the candidate pool and also I would hope that it would be able to bring more people in who are very personally driven and connected to the community to be on the board. And finally, with compensation comes that high level of expectation and that it's a very serious position. I serve as a president on a board myself, so I understand. I understand that you sitting here in the meetings is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of work that goes into it. I would like to say that I really love hearing from the board members when they talk about what they're doing in the community. And Mr. Golbeck, you're my representative, and I'm always so happy to hear what you're doing. So I am listening, and I want to know how you're involved, because it matters to me, because it says that you're connected to the community and you know what's happening. So that's it. In honor of Black History Month, since it was mentioned up here, I'd like to just name some of my favorite authors, my favorite Black American authors, if you haven't read them. Octavia Butler, Ross Gay, James Baldwin, and Roxane Gay, because access to literature is very important to me. Thank you so much, and my deepest apologies, Superintendent Hazel.
Okay. Thank you for that. It is recommended the governing board approve resolution number 11-25/26, increasing board member compensation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I second.
Discussion? I would like to make some comments here. This is something that's new in the time that I've been here. It's the first time this has come to the board. So it's had me thinking back and forth. I reached out to some folks in the community and just to get some to gauge to see what they might be thinking as well. One thing that comes to mind is seeing the just the increase from what is it, was 240 to 1200. It seems a bit a steep increase from the get-go. And looking at what would be a fair way, what would be an adequate, appropriate, and equitable way to approach this. Our superintendent did mention quite a few details there in that serving on a board is very difficult, can be quite extraneous, especially for working families, folks in the community that aren't retired, right? We know how demanding it can be. Last month we were in a board workshop that took all day, and we had a board meeting, and we had board prep, and we have to read all the information in the packets, in addition to school visits that are encouraged as well. So there is quite a bit of time dedicated to this to give it our best, right? In considering that, I guess could you also have additional information in terms of what teachers have, if we looked at the increase that teachers have made over the years, right? And I think that's an appropriate thing to consider, because that's COLA. We're considering COLA, cost of living adjustment. So it could be another way to look at this as well. Could you share that information?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that the trustees had asked me to look at is what was the teacher salary back in 1984, and what's the teacher salary today after our most recent increase for our staff. And since between 1984 and today, there was a 267.5% increase in salary between 1984 and today. And if we were to apply that same percentage to the board salary, going from $240, would bring it to $882 if it was equal increases as to what our classroom teachers had received from since 1984.
Thank you. 882?
Correct.
So is that considered the amount at the time, or is it compounded? It's like if you have $240 in 1984, then you get a certain percentage, but that's a compound. Then you get another percentage. That percentage is from the first compound. So is that
It's equated out so that the compounding annual growth rate results in a total growth rate. Does that make sense?
well, I'm trying to figure out how she calculated, how it was calculated.
Yes, and so I would need to connect with my finance team because they did the calculations and just shared it with me, but it was an overall, over the course of the years, compounded rate.
Okay.
So I can get that more information to you. I think it's always important also to look at the comparison of districts.
Yeah.
And, when we look at the comparison of districts and where our teacher salaries are, we're at close to the top of teacher salaries in the county. And so, that's something for us to look at and consider as well. And I think also to compare the cap to what other districts across San Diego County are approving and across the state are approving, because I can tell you they're not doing any less work than this board is.
So I have one more question. Do we have to determine the amount, or is this determining the amount as is what we're seeing for a cap?
So the current resolution is at the 1,200, but we can certainly, somebody can make a motion to amend the resolution to a different amount.
I'd like to add 2 points. I think this is a big responsibility. We're helping administer a $100 million budget with the biggest employer in the community. And successful organizations have boards that are very engaged. And I think that raising the compensation to the maximum will get more engaged people interested in working here. So that will hold us all to a higher standard and hopefully hold our organization to a higher standard. So I think it's an investment in the success of our community, and it'll hopefully pay dividends in the long term for a very small relative amount.
Thank you for that. All right. Any further discussion? Yeah, thank you for your comments. All right. So with that, I will call for the vote. Trustee Golbeck?
Aye.
Trustee Moran?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion passes. Okay, moving on to educational services. We have our comprehensive school safety plans for 2025-2026. Executive Director Leonard Rodriguez will provide an overview of the process used to develop the plans.
Good evening, members of the board, Cabinet Superintendent Hazel, distinguished guests in the audience. Thank you for the opportunity to review our planning process and requirements related to the Comprehensive School Safety Plan as dictated by California Education Codes 32280 to 32289. Any plan starts with a vision, and our vision always centers around safety, security, connectedness, belonging, as Mrs. Bustani had said, all in our efforts to create conditions to allow students to learn in a comfortable and safe environment. California Education Code requirements, just a few reminders here that all public school districts operating any school serving grades K through 12 develop a comprehensive school safety plan. We conduct an assessment of our current status of our school. We look at various data points, metrics that I'll mention in just a minute. They must include strategies aimed at prevention of and education about potential incidents involving crime and violence on our school campuses, and addresses a minimum of these 10 elements here. And I highlight emergency disaster preparedness, that's our safety emergency protocols, and the how, maintaining a safe and orderly environment. How are we addressing not only the physical environment, but the school climates on our campus. So important, especially in an elementary school district. Preparation, ongoing. It's something that we don't finish and put on the shelf. It's something that we're constantly looking at regularly, monitoring, adjusting along the way. I do want to thank Trustee Goldbeck for your feedback. It was a pleasure sitting to talk with you for a couple hours. And I want you to know that that time was well spent. And I met with our assistant principals, our first AP Academy in July when we returned. And we talked about your feedback, understanding that you have some expertise in the area. And I hope that you see some changes, some additions there in our plans, because the feedback was valuable. We look at school site emergency procedures and drill schedule updated and presented to our staff in August. Obviously, that's probably most important, that we're not developing these evacuation plans and so forth in September and October, because I've been on a few different campuses as principal when those fire drills are pulled on that first day. Right, principals in the room, it happens. And so can we respond? Analysis of school data, as I stated, we looked at a couple different crime resources the San Diego County provides to look at our data around Fallbrook, including Megan's Law, looking at our child predators here in Fallbrook. Let's see, school climate. We do lots of surveys on school climate, not only our student surveys, but parent surveys, and you parents here know that we are always looking for feedback. We have a certain lens at the school site, at the district level, but we also obviously want the perspective of our students and our parents, because you are here every day as well with your kids, and you're here after school. You're here on the weekends, playing soccer with your kids on our fields and so forth. So we want to know to make sure that our campuses are safe at all times during the day. We look at our behavior data in the classroom, outside of the classroom, on the school bus, walking to school, walking home from school. And we look at our engagement and school connectedness data. We survey our students 3 times a year through our social emotional learning survey. Also looks at perceptions of our students. How safe do they feel? Do they feel connected? Are there supportive relationships at school? Do they have trusted adults that they can go to in time of need? And we take our California Healthy Kids survey, as do probably 80–85% of our districts here in California, in our 5th and 7th grade. Again, looking at safety, looking at belonging, our mental health, risk factors due to tobacco, drugs, so forth. And this year, again, going back to Mr. Goldbeck, had identified some inconsistencies with our plans. And so we had committed to an introductory course from FEMA on Incident Command System training, which was very eye-opening. All of our APs completed that. We had some really good discussions about that. The training gave us common language that our first responders use, not only in town, but across the nation. Also provided a hierarchical structure, sorry, it's late, with a definitive chain of command, as well as alternates for incident commanders when that's needed, if the incident commander is not available or incapacitated. Some other preparation, AP collaboration. We have, I was trying to do this in we have, half of our schools have new administrative teams. Maybe not a new principal, maybe a new assistant principal, maybe not a new assistant principal, a new principal. And so it's coordination and making sure that we're all on the same page. And so building knowledge around our new county template was important to ensure inclusion of new legislation, CDE requirements. 7 functional annexes, which are not included in your version, but I'd be happy to share those with you because we took a lot of time with that, focusing on evacuation, reunification, lockdown procedures, so forth. 11 hazard annexes, specific annexes on active intruders, wildfire. Immigration's been a big one. You approved a board policy administrative regulation tonight. A lot of the language around immigration, immigration law enforcement, how do schools respond in the event of immigration on campus? How do we communicate with our families in the event that immigration is in town? All of that is outlined there. And you may have seen that in communication from Mr. Raygosa from Communication Department, Mrs. Hazel, always on top of always communication with our families in those areas. Student demonstrations as well, which not so much at the elementary level, sometimes at the Potter Junior High School. Try and provide a safe space for that, but definitely we're seeing that at the high school. Excuse me. Our ELO program, very important as well. We are here with our ELO program till 6 o'clock at night. And Mrs. Perez does an amazing job with that team, as you know, not only getting very positive results for her students, but with that, safety as a high priority. So she works collectively with her site leads to align her safety plans to our school-wide safety plans, making sure that those are accurate and appropriate. Provides regular training to site supervisors and staff as well, not only on emergency procedures, but also some of those climate pieces as well, PBIS, effective engagement strategies, how we relate to students, and then times where we may need to intervene through students that need support if they are maybe some of our special needs students or students with disabilities may need some extra support through extra staffing, extra training, and so forth. We want to make sure that they are able to access the program and the curriculum just as much as our general education students. And drills, regular drills, just like at the school sites. We did a comprehensive review with our Education Services Department to make sure that these plans were aligned to our district goals, that the resources were aligned, and that there's clarity and accuracy in the content. And our first responders, making sure that we're consulting with our first responders in town, our San Diego Sheriff's Department, North County Fire Protection District, North County Fire Department, great relationship with all of them. And then on base with the Marine Corps Base Fire Department there, as well as the PMO office there at Camp Pendleton. Just a few updates. And I did want to share too that we work very closely, when I say we, I'm speaking on behalf of the school sites, with our District Executive Safety Committee, who meets regularly here on campus, under the very firm direction of Dr. Husing. Keeps us on task, really focused in what we're looking at, not only at the school site, but district-wide. What are the trends and patterns? What are the things that we need to recognize as a district? What are the things we need to address? As well as the facilities department, how can we collaborate with them, again, to make sure that our needs are addressed within the budget that they have put together. So updating of site facilities, even though some of our sites are on the older end, we still maintain very beautiful campuses, as you know, very safe campuses. We did some safety training, or admin training, I should say, to address immigration officers on campus. So as you may remember last year, AG Bonta came out with some guidelines and recommendations, not only for school sites, but for parents. We were sure to get that out to all of our community. They did an update because California did some adjustments that's different from federal legislation. So we trained all of our principals and APs at the beginning of the year as well, So up to date, again, how do we respond if immigration law enforcement come onto campus? What if they're in the parking lot? You know, what's considered private property as opposed to public property? Providing them with information, talking points, a direction on where to go, who to call, if that were to happen. You may have noticed that we've installed some entry gates and cameras since last I was here at Fallbrook STEM. Beautiful black wrought iron fencing at the front with a camera. We had a similar setup further back behind the office, but community feedback, staff feedback, we decided to extend that out to the front and then redo the entire front just for aesthetic purposes. And I think it's beautiful, not only aesthetic-wise, but obviously very functional. And so a lot of positive feedback on that project. And just recently, I think Isaac could probably help me out. He's kind of hiding back there, but we just did an installation of an entry gate at May Ellis, top of the stairs, to control the ingress of community and parents to the front office. We didn't have that. We didn't have that built, so we added that with a camera that anybody in the office staff can buzz those people wanting to come into the campus. And then we've Mr. Bickler, Bickler in the facilities department, our director, really tight communication with our county office. We were able, I was not able, I was a principal at Potter 10 years ago. I was there for 5 years. I was banging the drum every year to get a crosswalk outside of Potter. Was never able to do it. And Bryson was able to do that last year. You saw that go in. We also haven't seen it yet, but we're waiting for some additional traffic signage, curb striping, and crosswalk enhancements on the Fallbrook STEM side, as well as the May Ellis side. Noticed some issues, mainly during pickup and drop off. You know, parents are sometimes parents. You know, I was a parent too. You know, sometimes we don't practice. We don't practice safety over convenience sometimes, and that's what we need to do sometimes. So we're gonna help our parents out, hopefully control the traffic a little bit better, with our overall goal of keeping our kids safe and our families that are walking out of harm's way. Some added elements to the plan, as I said, talked a lot about the immigration notification response. We had a situation come up at one of our schools, and so we decided, you know what, let's put a large-scale event, some protocols in for that. We all do it, you know, let's document that. How do we do that? And how are we communicating out to the families so that they are aware as well? Again, we're practicing safety over convenience. Sometimes it's nice to be able to just kind of walk in and go where you want to go. Well, it's like, time out. It's not safe, right? It's not safe for the kids. It's not safe for all of us. So we added that to the plan. And then some comprehensive strategies to improve climate and culture. You'll see some references to our existing PBIS. Ms. Bastani mentioned our MTSS. We did some extensive work on that at the beginning of the year. Our MTSS teams to look at data on the whole child, academic data, social emotional data, attendance data, behavior data, looking at all of that. Where are we doing well? Where do we need to make adjustments? Okay, am I missing a slide there? Okay. Okay, so the development and board approval, this is Ed Code. These are our responsibilities. So our school site councils have the responsibility, legal requirement, to develop their comprehensive school safety plans and adopt them prior to March 1st. They have all done that. You see that referenced within the first few pages. That was approved by their school site council, their safety teams. And then it's brought to the board today, not only to review the plans, but to ensure compliance with state law, board policy, admin reg, and to approve that according to Ed Code 32288A. Okay? All right, and as I always like to say, safety is a full-time job. We don't want to make it a part-time practice. Thank you very much. Questions?
I know the school response plans are kept at the school sites and they've been updated. I'd love to schedule some time to review those when there's a chance.
I'd love to show those to you, Mr. Goldbeck.
Thanks.
I will just, Mr. Goldbeck, just fair warning. Our plans increased about, we were about 68 pages last year. In 2 hours, we're about 300 pages this year.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
When we say comprehensive, we mean comprehensive.
Wow.
So,
it's a full day.
Bring your lunch. But yeah, we'd love to have you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It is recommended the governing board approve the comprehensive school safety plans for the 2025-2026 school year as listed. Do I have a motion?
A motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I will call for the vote. Trustee Moran?
Aye.
Trustee Goldbeck?
Aye.
And I will aye. The motion passes. We are pleased to support our teachers and staff to continue their professional learning as they participate in conferences, enabling them to perform their duties and remain up to date on new policies and procedures impacting their roles. So next we have consent agenda. It is recommended the governing board approve the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? I will call for the vote. Trustee Goldbeck?
Aye.
Trustee Moran?
Aye.
And I will aye. The motion passes. In accordance with Board Bylaw 9322, the board president and superintendent work together to develop board agendas. Agenda items are aligned with the district's established goals and priorities. This is the time for board members to request items for placement on a future agenda. Requests are for referral only. No discussion or action will take place this evening. In making requests, board members are encouraged to be thoughtful and deliberate so that agendas remain focused on the district's highest priority work and do not unnecessarily divert the superintendent and staff from their core responsibilities. Requested items will be reviewed for possible inclusion on a future agenda. Trustees, do we have any items? All right. Having none, this meeting is adjourned at 7:57 p.m.